Welcome to DIY Tuber Round 2.
Hi, I'm Ivan.
I'm Nick.
And this is the DIY Detail Podcast. Today we're going to meet the DIY Tubers Round 2. Bruce won our first round, and let's go explore and see who the new round is.
Just in the order that they come up on screen. We've got Ben.
Ben in beta?
Hello.
We have So Clean Eileen.
Yeah.
We have Will. Will's Ride.
What's up, guys?
Will's car care. Will's ride
car-
care.
Well, it says Will's Ride Care.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, there we go. And of course, last but not least, we have Oscar from OQ Detailing in San Diego. What's up, everybody?
Hey.
Hello. An egg.
So
Hello.
we have the boxes here, and I'm just going to start. I'm going to go like clockwise. Could we do a quick introduction? Ben, where's home base for you? And, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. Home base for me is Colorado Springs, though I'm currently in Dallas, and I've been in Wisconsin for the last few weeks, so I've been all over the place. But I am by day a product manager, and on the weekends and at night I do some YouTube videos on overlanding, detailing, product reviews, that kind of stuff, and I've just been working on building a little bit of channel for myself. So that's just me in a nutshell.
Awesome. We hope that the DIY Tuber is really great for everyone's exposure, and we're looking forward to getting to know everybody. Eileen, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're located, and I believe you're our only full-time detailer in the group?
Possibly. So my name is Eileen.
Oscar.
Yeah.
My bad.
No worries.
My name is Eileen, and I'm based out of the Joshua Tree 29 Palms area, which is in the desert of California. And I have been doing this for about a year professionally. And basically my time consists of trying to stay cool and out of the sun and the heat. So that's really my motive for the day every day.
That sounds like a good one. We're going to have some tips from you then about how to detail in the elements. And Will, you look like the youngest of the group here.
I think so.
You're based out of New York, Will?
Yes, I am. So I'm based in Rochester, New York, which is upstate. It's 6 hours from New York City. Not close to that at all. So up here, it snows a lot. And I got into detailing because I got a new car and I wanted to take good care of it. And it was in winter. So it drove me to want to take care of it even more because of the obstacles. So that's how I got started. And that also inspired me to start a channel, as you can see, Will's Right Care. And yeah, that's how I got started.
You probably represent most people out there who get into detailing from YouTube. They get a new car and they want to take care of it. That was my story. Ivan,
Yeah.
I'm sure you've heard that one a lot as well. And let's get to Oscar in the corner, and then I think Ivan can handle the next round of questions. But Oscar, you got a full-time business, and you're also a new father, so congratulations.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Yeah. So I actually learned how to detail with a friend that has detailing business. And that was 2015. Then I bought some products to take care of my own car. But officially as my business, during the pandemic, I got laid off when it started. And I was just detailing my car. And then I told a friend who had done a lot of favors for me in the past, I had nothing to do. So, hey, I'll detail your car for free. You've been a good friend. And he really liked it. So he ended up paying me $100. And then I did his truck because he liked his car. And then for his truck, he wanted me to do his mom's car. And then that's when I had the epiphany, like, hey, why not just do something that I really enjoy doing and get paid for it? So that's how OQ Detailing got started back in 2020 as my official business, mobile detailing business.
Excellent. So we'll stick with you for a second, Oscar. You're a mobile detailer in Southern California. So like Eileen was mentioning, she spends most of her time trying to stay out of the sun and out of the heat. Is that a
Yes.
situation that you deal with as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm in sunny San Diego, California. So people say it's the best weather in the U.S. But so as you can see, I just came from work actually, and you can see like one of the things that I recommend is a long sleeve. Keeps you cool. These ones, I get ones that have UV protection, and I'm fairly light skin, very light skin, so I get red easily. So yeah, I always try to stay cool as much as possible and help detailers also learn some techniques that I learned along the way.
Now, Will, for you, this challenge is going through till the end of December, which means in Rochester, you're going to get snow. So we're going to explore with you how to deal with snow. And I think, Ben, you should be getting snow depending on where you are in Colorado by then. So what are your strategies since you started detailing in winter? What's your main tip you can give to someone about detailing in winter?
Well, in winter, if it's below, the freezing temperature, of course, there's nothing you can do. But of course, I live in an apartment too, so I don't have a garage. So if it's above freezing temperature, and if you put on enough layers, I think you can still work out there. And I actually have a video coming out about this. I bring a bucket of water and I use a little electric pressure. It's not really a pressure washer, more like a power washer. Yep. And I just kind of use that to siphon water out to wash the car if you really need to use water. But a lot of the times, if you don't need to use water, your car is not that dirty, rinse wash is the way to go.
Good. Now, Eileen, you started a year ago, so you're new in the detailing business. What's the biggest challenge in starting a detailing business?
I'd probably say the biggest challenge is trying to not succumb to the temptation of buying every single product, every single tool, every single everything, and just depleting your funds on just like the shiniest new thing. I think that's one thing that I picked up from you, Ivan, watching your videos when I first started, was just not, getting what you need at the time. And then as you build up your business, getting some better equipment and upgrading and all that. But just, I'd say probably that's the biggest challenge as a new detailer.
Now, Ben, you're into overlanding. We can see your Tacoma behind you. That's basically what got you into detailing, was your Tacoma from watching your channel. You're the one that's going to be showing us how to deal with mud. And, what's your strategy right now for dealing with mud? Or do you go, I know you do overlanding, but do you get the Tacoma very muddy or just dirty and dusty?
Depends on the weekend and the day we're going. We've definitely had some pretty good amounts of mud. And I think the best strategy I've had was make sure you've taken care of the vehicle before you do that and try to get the coating on before, because it just makes such a big difference. And then I've been using some like the quick feeds on some of the rock rails and the tires and wheels, because that's my kryptonite. I do not want to spend a whole lot of time on my wheels, and those are always the dirtiest parts, and those are always the muddiest parts. So just trying to keep some product on there to help make it easier later on has been a big deal.
Excellent. So, Oscar, you're the one that has the most subscribers here, and I think, Eileen, you have the least, or you and Will, you're pretty close. You just topped the 1,000, didn't you, Ben?
I did last week.
Yeah, okay. So Ben's at 1,000. Oscar, you're somewhere close to 3, I believe.
Yeah, no, 2.3 around right now.
Okay, so so you're the big dog around here right now.
Small dog. Yeah.
Yeah. But that being said, the DIY Tuber program has nothing to do with subscriber count, so don't worry about the subscriber count. It's all about your interactions and how people deal with you. And at the end, Nick and I do not vote. So we're only there if there's ever a tiebreaker. We have a group of about 30 YouTubers and people that follow all your YouTube channels. One of them, most notably, that everyone's seen his name, and he's probably on all your channels already, is Humberto. So first from Puerto Rico. Yeah. So he's on everybody's channel. The guy is simply amazing. And so he'll be watching this, obviously. So Humberto, shout out to you. But like I said, we have a panel of about 35 people that vote on your videos every week. We have in the DIY detailing group as well a vote that goes on. So if you'd like to support any of these people, go to the DIY Detail YouTube group, and at the end of the week, and our week goes from Thursday to Tuesday. So Thursday we have our first presenter, which is Will. Then we have Eileen on Saturday. Monday night, I believe, is Ben. And Oscar.
No, Monday.
Oscar
Monday, sorry.
Okay, so we start the week with Will, we end the week with Ben. And then after that, we have voting from Tuesday. So after the last video up to the start of the next video, and we go from there. Every week we give you a challenge. And last week was to introduce yourself. So we're not going to give you, we're not going to go into the introductions here because it's not always interesting in a panel format like this.
We want folks to seek these great YouTubers out, get to know them on their channels. But we had some questions, Ivan, that we wanted to get right to it, didn't we?
Yeah. Well, go for it, Nick.
Well, one question that Eileen brought up earlier, and I think was a great one. Let's go round table, start with Ben. What's one thing that you really like about detailing and one thing that, I don't know, maybe you hate about detailing?
Well, I mean, Eileen mentioned this in her video the other day, and it was when I started kind of detailing, it was with my dad, and we were just using rags out of wherever he grabbed them, they were kind of clean. And that was where I started to learn to take care of my vehicle, and I've always tried to do that. And as time has developed, I've gotten nicer vehicles, I wanted to take care of them. So for me, it's like the exterior is always the most important piece because that's what everybody else sees, and it looks really good when you walk up to it. So that's what I love doing. The interior is something I keep clean, but I'm not very good at. I don't understand the products as much, and so I'll be interested to see how I develop in that over the next 3 months, and with the products that we have available to us for that. So that's one thing, and then wheels and tires is the other part. Is like there's just so much detail in there. Although I am getting some new wheels next week, so I will be coating those because I want to make sure that those get taken care of. So I guess those are my kryptonites. But I'm so excited by so many products. Like that's the biggest change in like the last 7 years. It's just crazy how many amazing products there are out there for detailing.
Yeah,
and products are fun.
Yeah,
I mean, we sell products, but like when you're running a business, getting in a train, basically like lost in the race of trying to find all the newest and greatest, that can be a little bit of a curse. But for the average person out there, products are fun. Eileen, and you're running a business though, so yeah, maybe what do you love, what do you hate about detailing?
So I would probably say, and it's just probably a typical answer that a lot of people will say, is polishing. And I think it's just because of the instant gratification of like going from like a super swirled up paint to like, somewhat better. So I'd probably say that's my favorite. Overall, obviously exterior, it always gives you that instant gratification. The one thing I don't like is pet hair. It's not fun. I don't enjoy it. We get it a lot out here, the Jeeps and the big trucks with the dog hair and stuff. And I mean, someone's got to do it, right? But I see that, and as soon as I see it, I'm like, oh, it's gonna be one of those days. So yeah, that's the part I don't like about it.
No pet hair is created equal, but if you have compressed air and a really high power,
yeah, exactly,
and the right tools,
I've got 6 or 7 different tools. Yeah,
and I'd be curious to know, Oscar, like, because you're mobile, what you use for an air compressor. But we'll get to you in a second. So, Will, what do you love? What do you hate about just detailing?
So in general, I think it's a little different when you're detailing for yourself, your own vehicle, versus for maybe a customer. But at least for myself, I think there's really something about cleaning your own vehicle and then stepping back when you're done, looking at your vehicle that I did that. Something about the DIY is very rewarding because it kind of empowers yourself knowing that you have the ability to keep things clean and keep things in line. And in some degree, I think that is beneficial for everyone's lives too, just being able to do these things for yourself. And when you're detailing for customers, I think the best thing is seeing customers' reaction. Of course, this is a very common answer, but the reaction they get when they see the vehicles, that they're so used to it looking dirty or scratched up or just in a condition that they're used to it. But in that instance, they see it all shiny. It kind of opens up a new door for them in some degree. So I think that's very exciting.
Awesome. Oscar, how about you?
Okay, so the thing I hate the most about detailing is cords. Cords are always getting tangled. Having your pressure washer and your vacuum and then an extension cord, and then they get cross-tangled. And, sometimes no matter what you do, they end up just getting in the way. So cords and beach sand. So I live by the beach, obviously. And obviously a lot of clients go to the beach regularly. So beach sand, getting some certain carpets hold beach sand differently. And, it's a never ending process. Like no matter how many times you go, if you keep kind of using the vacuum, there's always those tiny little beach particles that just keep coming out. So it's like a never ending process. And there's a point where you just gotta be like, okay, that's it. You know, it looks great. And actually when you go around and you do other things and come back like, oh, it was perfect. I was just being too OCD about this. But yeah, B-sand and quartz. Now what I would like the most, it would be actually claying a vehicle, especially one that hasn't been clayed in a long time. So the clay and seal process, it's super rewarding, getting that feel of that coarse, you know, where you start and then down to the smooth. And then after you put your sealant or your wax and then glide in your hand, that is like super rewarding. So yeah.
One thing Ivan, you can jump in a second, but one of the greatest gifts I've gotten from you, just in terms of just raw detailing skills, is the eyeball test. Because we've done so many vehicles together now, is like knowing when it's acceptable to stop. Because like Oscar, you know, I know what you mean. Like you go around and then there's always more. Or like Eileen, there's more dog hair to deal with, right? Like it never ends. And working with Ivan, you've shown me kind of what the average customer is going to be totally fine with. And you remind me how much progress we've made and how good it really does look. Because detailers, we can get in our own heads about how it is.
I do the same thing. I hear Ivan in my head when I'm in the back seat of a car and I'm struggling to vacuum. I hear Ivan like, "You did a good job. It's good enough. Like, spend just enough time to do it, get it done, and you're done."
Well, especially with dog hair, Eileen, there's one question you need to ask your customer: is the dog coming back in the car after I'm done?
Yep. Exactly.
And if the answer is yes, there's no point in getting every last little dog hair out of there. And
Exactly.
it's asking them, you know, say, look, I'll get the most out. I can get everything out. Well, I'll get the most out for $200, but I'll get everything out for $600. How much are you wanting that dog hair out of there? They'll be happy
Right.
with the 200. And at that point, it sort of releases the stress a little bit. So speaking of releasing stress, one question, I gave them all a preview of this question before, but if you don't win the competition, if you weren't in the competition, who are you voting for? We'll start with you, Oscar.
Everybody's great. I would say Will.
Okay, why?
He's young, and I see myself in him. When I started kind of back in 2015 working for someone else. So, and I was doing rinseless, or it was waterless, so I kind of relate to that.
Almost like an avatar. Like that's what I want to tell every one of you is like, there's going to be people out there who are going to relate to you, right? So it's like they might see themselves in you if you're a guy doing mobile detailing, Oscar, or like, you know, Will being younger or being into overland. So you could kind of lead the charge for a lot of people who might see themselves in you and just keep it real, you know? And the dance Ivan and I have is I want to keep things interesting and he always wants to educate. So I think you want to do both of those in your videos. Be interesting. Please don't be boring because there's plenty of videos on YouTube. No one's going to give you the time of day. So be interesting, but also provide education. And if you kind of and then be real, right? Like really show people the rawness of your journey. And I think there'll be enough people who see themselves in you or are inspired by you that hopefully y'all can gain some traction.
Yeah. So Will, who are you voting for?
Well, thanks, Oscar, for I feel very honored. But I promise my answer is not just for the sake of returning the honor. But I was going to say Oscar because, well, I comb through everyone's videos, and the one thing that stood out to me in Oscar's videos are there's a lot of tips. Just like earlier you were talking about detailing in the summer. I was watching that video, I think, a day or two ago. And there's just so many things that I learned from just that one single video, just like the shirt that you're talking about has UV blockers, and it can actually make a lot of difference because being out there in the sun, it made me tan a lot more tan or tanner in the past couple of days being out in the sun. But I can see how it can really cause long-term damage. So there's a lot of things that I learned from your videos, and I feel like that can be very beneficial to people and attract a lot of people too.
Thanks.
Eileen, who's your vote going to?
Simply because I would want a mobile detailer to win like myself, I'm choosing Oscar.
Okay. And Ben, how about you?
For me, so I see Eileen having really innovative videos and doing some really cool things with the video pieces, and that's super cool. So I think a lot of people are already in Eileen's corner. I see Oscar having a lot of tips, and he's already put really good information in our chats about what we can do better, what we're doing well, and I think that's fantastic too. And then last, like Will is just going to grow a ton in this competition, and I think like he's going to have this underdog thing going on. So I kind of feel like he might end up kind of on top at the end. We'll see.
Okay, and great point. A lot of the conversation that we have is private, but the competitors, they're not really competing against each other. They're all there to help each other and help each other grow. So every time someone releases a video, all the other, the rest of us get together, critique the video, give some constructive criticism, and move forward. And the whole goal of the DIY Tuber program is to get more educational videos on YouTube. Anyone can do product reviews, anyone can do an ASMR, things like that. But actually getting good quality education first. Secondly is to help your channels grow and to see that. And the interaction between all the DIY tubers is great. And the first generation of DIY tubers, they're, those of you that had the premiere so far, you notice they were all there. And they were supporting you. They were there to help you guys grow as well. So it really is becoming a community, and detailing, especially in the YouTube space, is very much a community. There's a lot of big channels, there's small channels, and the channels tend to support the people that are positive in this industry. There are some people that have a very negative attitude to detailing. They're always trying to find the scam or look for the, where's the conspiracy theorists. Luckily, none of those here. But there's also a very strong community of DIY or of YouTubers that are there to help support each other and share. Eileen, you were on Jamie the Cleaner's podcast, I believe, a little while ago. So, yeah. So it just goes to show what we're trying to build is that we're trying to build on that sense of community, that sense of helping each other out.
Yep.
So is there like a detailing tip that y'all have learned just by doing this or by watching YouTube videos? Just like something that was like a light bulb moment within the last, I don't know, whenever, that you really want to share with other people? Because I think we can all just, rising tides lifts all boats. Like just a great tip that you feel like has changed detailing for you or just made it more fun, whether it's interior, exterior. I don't know. Ben, do you have anything that has changed the game for you? We can start and do clockwise again.
I think that what made me think of like detailing in the winter before, the thing that was sort of important for me when I lived in Wisconsin, obviously we had winter, but we then moved to California. So I was like Will, and I only had an apartment, and we only lived in apartments, and I still wanted to detail my vehicle. And even in Colorado Springs, when we moved here, we didn't have all the equipment right away because we had sold everything. And I would always look for a car wash that was a manual car wash that I could go to, but I would fill all my buckets. I would take all my stuff there because I could, like steal them up. So I'd fill everything up. I would take it there and I wash it with my wash mitts and my chemicals, but then I would just use the sprayer to spray things off. And I think that's something that people don't always think about. Like, oh, I don't have all the equipment. Well, it's right there. You can get the chemicals and just bring them with you. And that's a tip. I think then you can do things in the wintertime when you don't want to maybe be putting water through all your hoses and things like that. You can go and do that. And I found that to be very helpful, both when I lived in an apartment, but also when it was getting colder out or there was just a nice day, I could just go wash my vehicle really quick.
Cool.
Good.
How about you,
Eileen?
I would probably say the tip that has helped me out the most is focus less on the brand names and products and more on your technique, and focus on like your own process. I feel like as a new detailer, when I first started, I spent a lot of time on YouTube, like writing product names down and what's the best and worst and not so great and what everyone's opinions of it was. And I felt like I dedicated a lot of time on that and less on just figuring out what worked for me and like my environment. So that's probably my little tip.
Wise words. How about you, Will?
I think one big thing I learned is understanding chemicals is very important, because a lot of times you see some cars, they got these different scratches all around the vehicle, and your immediate thought is that, oh, just clean it and then pull out the polisher, those scratches will be gone. But sometimes those scratches aren't just scratches into the clear coat. It's actually paint transfer from the things that you scratch it with. So a lot of times they're just paint. So having a tar remover or a adhesive remover, those kind of chemicals, you can just rub on it, and a lot of times those scratches will basically be gone. So you don't have to get your customers to pay up to a paint polishing kind of price, and you can still deliver very good results, and they'll be happy with it. So that's one big thing I learned.
Good.
I thought there were door cup scratches once, and Ivan just pulled out the tree sap remover on a towel and went like this, and the scratches were gone. And yeah, just the heavy solvent in the tree sap remover did a great job.
Yep.
Oscar, how about yourself?
Okay, so I have two. The first one is Ivan's advice recently, and I hear every time I'm suffering in the sun. He said, it's not your fault that, either they made a stain that's unreversible, or it's not your fault that they're... So having that, really kind of applying that, because, detailers were OCD, and I have a personal standard, but like Ivan always teaches, like, what does a customer expect you? Even sometimes the things you worry the most about, like, you spend 30 extra minutes on that pet hair or whatever it is, right? That scratch or that rim behind the spoke or whatever. The customer comes out, oh, good job, thank you, and then pays and leaves. Doesn't even look at it. So it's kind of like, so if you would have had that mindset already, then what is the customer expecting versus what you want and expect? So that's number for the ones I learned and from someone, and then that I learned is focus on your business and marketing and kind of along with the lines of Eileen, but focus on your business, right? Your web page, marketing, Google reviews, all of those things, rather than products. Like especially if something works for you, just because everyone else is talking about it, brings it up, it's like you don't have to go and get it. Like focus on your business, focus on your profit. Because we do it for fun as well, but some of us, it's our livelihood. So once something works for me, I keep it for a long time, unless there's a major change or something revolutionary, really. But I kind of already got the hang of what I like, what I don't like, what works, and I kind of stick to that. So that kind of helps.
That sounds pretty wise from Oscar, doesn't it?
Yeah, very wise. Now we'll go around the board a slightly different way here. We'll start with Will. Will, what would be your dream car to detail? Not to drive, but to detail.
That's a long list to choose from, Ivan.
The top 5.
I would say the top car to detail, one, to look at and enjoy just cleaning it, and second, it's very easy to clean. I would probably say a Porsche 911, because it is just so small. The curves are beautifully sloped, and there's no hard angles, and there's no heavy crevices that you need to pay attention to. Well, maybe one downside is the brake dust, but I think that will be my dream car to detail.
Okay, Ben?
I think the 2004 Audi RS4 would be my dream car to detail. That thing just looks like a rocket ship, and I think you have to take a little time to do some restoration on that and the paint and make it look really good. Mm-hmm. And I think that'd be kind of a good car to work on. Yeah.
Good. Eileen?
I'd probably say a 67 fastback.
Okay, Mustang.
That's like my ultimate. Yeah, Mustang.
Yeah. Cool. And what about you, Oscar?
I was gonna say something else, but then Ben brought up again. Skyline R34, GTR. Oh man, those are dream car for a long time. So Skyline GTR, R34.
Good. Now, what's your favorite color to detail? Oscar, we'll start with you.
Oh, sorry. Red, yellow, anything bright, because once I'm done, it really pops.
Good. How about you, Ben?
I like a lot of like the greens with some metallic like flecks and stuff in them, like that, those types of things. Like my Tucson, I really liked the color of that when I had that a lot. Mm-hmm. So green. Yeah.
Will?
Silver metallic, because that's the color of my car. Not my choice, but it hides so much, and it stays clean. So
yeah, definitely. And Eileen?
White. Anything darker will burn me in the sun, so anything white I'm good with.
Oh, excellent. See, for me, my favorite color is the detail is black. White I can't stand because I can't see anything. But that's just when you get older, you'll know why. But excellent.
I like red. I think just so. I mean, it's such a rare color.
Red's a nice one.
It's just like
Obviously, I like red too. I've got 4 red cars. So
Yeah, you do. Right.
He has a thing for red.
And a red
I have a question for Nick and Ivan, and that is before DIY detail, when or pretend it didn't exist at the moment, when you had to go choose a product, how did you go about doing that? Did you just try everything, or did I know, Ivan, you know a lot about the chemistry and things, so maybe that was easier for you, but how would you go about choosing the products in your business? Because I'm just always curious about how people kind of pick things, I guess.
go for it, Nick.
I like to try a lot of things, and I think YouTube was the excuse to try a bunch of stuff, but I just would try all the stuff, if Eddie Cologne was talking about it these days, he's probably the guy I'd watch and be like, what's Eddie talking about? What's the new hotness? Let me try a little of this, little of that. But once I feel like I found it out, like early on, and I'm okay, there's plenty of great brands out there. Early on, I started using Koch Chemie, and I was one of the first people that when they came to the States, I think Scott from Dallas Paint Correction started talking about them, and I'm like, ooh, what are these guys, And so I liked being like someone who found something early, knew it was legit, and then just like used it. I was a little skeptical of the stuff that everybody was using. Maybe that's the way I feel about my artists and my bands, my musicians. Like I want to find them early and see them at the small venues, and then when they get to the big arenas, like I'll move on. So I want to see the sweat on their faces. I want to be close to my favorite artists, and so I don't know. That's maybe the way I felt about detailing products. But really, when you find something good that works for you and you can trust it, then you stick with it, right? So if you find something that works, just stick with it. It's fun trying all the new stuff though, but I think where your foundational things, you just find something that works and use it.
Yeah, for myself, I'm more process driven than I am product driven. And it was finding products that fit within the process I was trying to develop. So I develop processes and build the products to fit those processes. And that's what we've done with DIY. But previously, I was very much involved with Optimum Polymer Technologies. Same thing, all the processes that are taught there or were taught there when I was there were built around what we did in our shops and then adapted the products to that. So for myself, even though I've tried, I cross test basically. So, I try everything on the market just to make sure that, can we improve? Can we do something better? Can it improve a process? So that's how I work. I've always worked in an R&D type background. So when I look at a product, I'm looking at the, how can I improve it? What's the R&D? How can we do things differently? So
that's cool. I have one other question for everybody, if they really want to answer.
Let's go.
What's the most fun moment you had detailing like the last year? I'll answer at the end. And I don't know, we'll go with Oscar to start.
The most fun? Let's see. I'm actually, I don't know. I can't think, I guess, right now, top of my head. But I think this is the most fun. I'm really excited for this, actually. And one of the things that Ivan mentioned is already, like, it's not really, I don't treat it as a competition. We are already winning just being exposed. So that was my main thing, actually. And my kind of stress was the algorithm type of thing. Like, it took me a while to get to where I'm at. I think it's 3 years, and I wasn't consistent. So, but anyways, yeah, it's just this right now. I think it's the funnest. You get to meet a lot of people, and a lot of people who are in the industry get to see you as well. So, so far for me, I think this has been the best and funnest.
And I will say, Oscar, because I told this to Christy, actually, we were kind of sharing final thoughts from DIY Tuber Round 1, and I sent her this thing, and it was meant to be just like truly for everybody, which is it will take you years for your taste to match your ambition, right? Your taste right now is what the good stuff is. You know what the good stuff is. You're trying to get there, but your ambitions are there too. But like for those two to match up, for the product you're putting out there to match what your taste is, it just takes years. So this is part of that process. It's not going to be done when DIY Tuber's done. Ivan and I are getting better every day. We're trying. So it's just like, it just takes a while. So if you look at it in the long game, this is for anybody doing anything, but especially content creation. Just trust the process. Obviously, you don't want to throw away all your time if nothing's working, but y'all are here for a reason. So yeah, but it's just not a day or month or year thing. It's just like the long game.
Right.
So I can go next.
Okay.
So I think the most fun for me this year is, or the past year, I think it's discovering rinseless wash. Well, as a apartment dweller, having rinseless wash is a game changer. So I don't have to pull out a bunch of buckets and bring in the car soap and then worry about how I'm gonna rinse this off, and is wiping going to just take this away. And so having rinseless wash really saved my butt.
I'd probably say for me, it's polishing or ceramic coating a boat. I think that was most exciting for me this year, because it kind of was like a culmination of all the skills that I've worked on throughout the whole year, and then putting it all to the test there. And then how successful it came out, I think for me was, it was great. It was a great feeling.
That's a lot of time involved.
Yeah.
A lot of time.
Yeah.
How
And
about you,
Ben,
Yeah, for me, it was teaching my friend how to detail his Jeep, and seeing like when he saw the result at the end, and like how clean his windows were and stuff. Like he was just like, I don't want to drive it anymore. Like I don't want this to change. And that kind of same thing happened with my nephew like a couple of weeks ago here too. I taught him how to do that. And when I was there, before I flew out, I actually gave him some products to be able to use on his parents' car, and he was super excited about getting started with that stuff. So I think that was fun, just being able to teach other people how to detail and having them be excited about it as well. So
Well, Ben, you're an educator, right? You're a teacher at heart.
yeah,
Yeah.
I have a whole career. Yep.
yeah.
So
How about you,
that's
Nick?
Amazing. I was gonna say, actually, when we got to do that competition on that black Kia, and your approach was, I'm gonna do it the DIY way, and Nick, you do it the Hawk Pro way, which is my old detailing channel. I just got to two-step it and clay bar it, and I just spent all this time. It was so exhausting, and it was really fun to just get back to my roots, and then the whole process was really fun because we had the 4 professional judges, and 2 of them said they liked Ivan's, and 2 of them said they liked mine. So it validated me a little bit, even though I spent hours longer than Ivan, and it made me realize like the way that we teach it actually makes so much sense, because that was a lot of work, and my back hurt. It wasn't really worth it, but it was like knowing that it's. It was just fun. It was a lot of fun, Ivan.
Yeah. For me, it's actually the series that we did on the Z3 BMW. And the reason for that is the video hasn't, when we're recording this, the video hasn't aired yet. So this will be a surprise to the 4 of you. But the Z3 wasn't a barn find. We created the barn find. So it started off as a clean car. We bought it off Facebook Marketplace. We drove it to the barn. We parked it. We got it dirty.
Trolling everybody. Come on.
And then we did the barn find. But the principle behind it, because I've always wanted to teach how to do a barn find, because I see the barn find videos, and the first thing they do is they spray the pressure washer on the dirty car, and that always freaks me out. It's like, no, you need to pre-treat it. Foam rinse foam, chemical rinse chemical. So I wanted to do a barn find, couldn't find one, so I thought, what the heck, we'll make a barn find. And so that's what we did. So it was a fun series, and the video that's premiering this Wednesday will be the making of the barn find. So that'll be a fun one. Yes.
I have a quick question. How did you do it for the mice nest and stuff? That was pretty. I don't know. That was good. Like, how did you get that?
Trickster.
So cut up a paintbrush to get the mouse hairs. Shredded a bit of paper, shredded a bit of insulation, mixed it all together in a bag and put it in there. But the one that we found under the engine cover, that was real. That wasn't a fake one, and we didn't know that one was there. It's just there were some dents in the hood, and when the PDR guy came, he wanted that hood pad taken off, so we took the hood pad off. It's like, wait a minute, there's a mouse.
I thought you made that one up. That's what I was
thinking.
Dang, that's crafty.
No,
what are you doing? Okay.
The one in the corner of the corner of the engine bay, that one was made up, but the one under the hood was actually real. But the principles that go behind what we did to clean it up are the same, whether it's been sitting in a barn for 5 years or 5 minutes. So it was just to educate, to show that. But the making of video was a lot of fun. So yeah,
First homemade mouse nest.
Now
Ivan,
we've go ahead, Nick.
What do you think? You think that's a good intro for everybody?
Yeah, I think that's a great intro. Now, shout out your YouTube channels. Obviously, you've written them in your descriptions there. But do you have any other social media platforms that you deal with? Start with Will.
Ooh, I am not ready.
Okay. We'll go to Eileen. She's a businesswoman. She knows her platforms.
Yeah, you can find me on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and of course YouTube. All So Clean Detailing.
Good. How about you, Oscar?
So yeah, it would just be OQ Detailing in Instagram, TikTok, and my website. That's about it. I don't have
Okay.
I have a Facebook, but I don't really promote business there.
Okay. And Ben?
I have a website that I need to probably, update, but it's fairly updated, benandbeta.com, and I'm Ben and Beta and pretty much all the social networks. I think Facebook, I'm Benjamin Hummerding, but I have a Ben and Beta page as well, so you'll get me either way. Yeah.
And where does the beta come from?
Beta is just, I've always been like on the beta releases of everything. I've always tried things before everybody else to try to let them know, should you do this thing or not? Is this product good or not? And that's what my whole channel is about, trying things, including experiences, sharing them with other people, letting them know like, hey, is this for me or is it for somebody else? So yeah, I always say live your life in beta at the end, because I just want people to try stuff and, see where it goes.
Excellent. And Will?
Well, besides YouTube, I'm also on Instagram. It's
Okay.
willswacker.yt.
Okay. Very good. With that, thanks, guys. We'll be, of course, seeing you every week as a DIY tuber, and you release other videos. The DIY tuber, you have a specific video to do every week. You're free, and we want you to release other videos too. The more videos you release, the more the algorithm likes you. So that's one thing. And your videos are all on premieres. So like all our videos are on premieres as well. You can go there, chat with the people, encourage them. Go to the premieres. They're easy to find. It's 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, Saturday, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. So
Can we do the schedule for who's when real quick to end this?
yeah. So Will is Thursday, Eileen is Saturday, Oscar is Monday. Am I right? Yes. Okay.
Yes.
And Ben is Tuesday. So
Correct.
yeah.
Amazing. Thank you
So
all
expect my tomorrow.
for joining us on
Yeah.
this. And if you want to see the mouse, the how to create a barn find video, Ivan, where can they find that? You point.
Somewhere in there or over there. Yeah.
Right in front of my face. All right.
Yeah, exactly.